I'm under my truck when my marriage ends, though I don't know it yet. Grease on my hands, wrench slipping on a stubborn bolt, and Claire's phone is buzzing on the workbench above me. Once, twice, 3 times. The kind of insistent buzzing that says someone really, really wants her attention. More than I do, apparently. I slide out, wipe my hands on a rag that's probably dirtier than my hands, and glance at the screen. The preview is enough. You're my real adventure. Can't wait to escape tonight. 3. Mason. Before we dive deeper into this story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, comment, and hit that hype button to boost this channel so more people can discover these incredible Reddit stories. Our anniversary is still her password. Isn't that sweet? I unlock it with fingers that suddenly feel numb, scroll through messages that paint a picture I should have seen coming. Late nights at work. Girls' nights that smell like expensive cologne. The way she flinches when I touch her lately, like I'm interrupting something. I am, I realize. I'm interrupting her whole other life. Apparently, I mutter to the empty garage, I'm not even a good pit stop on her road to excitement. My name is Alex Brennan. I'm 35 years old. I own a small appliance repair business, and I just discovered my wife is having an affair. Welcome to the party. Grab a beer from the fridge. They're warm because I haven't fixed the compressor yet, and isn't that just perfect? Our house sits on the edge of Millbrook, a Rust Belt city that's been fading since the factories closed in the 90s. The neighborhood is the kind where everyone knows everyone's business, which means everyone will know mine soon enough. The Hendersons next door are already champions at peeking through their curtains. Mrs. Henderson probably has a notebook. I met Claire 7 years ago at a community fundraiser. She was volunteering for some PR campaign, all energy and ambition and laughter that filled rooms. I was fixing the sound system they'd rented. She made a joke about my tool belt. I made one back about her clipboard. 6 months later, we were married at the courthouse because she said big weddings were wasteful, and I was too in love to argue. She works downtown now, climbed the ladder to PR executive at Morrison & Associates, makes 3 times what I do. Bought herself a BMW last year with her bonus. I still drive the truck. The house was supposed to be our project. Mid-renovation, half-finished dreams everywhere you look. I've been doing the work myself between service calls, but lately I'm the only one who seems to care if the kitchen backsplash ever gets finished. I put her phone back exactly where it was and finish with the truck. My hands are steady. That surprises me. Inside, though, something is crystallizing into a cold, hard shape. That night, Claire comes home at 9:30. Her hair is different, styled in a way I don't recognize. New perfume, too. She doesn't kiss me hello anymore, just drops her bag, kicks off heels that cost more than my monthly insurance, and heads for the wine fridge. How was work? I ask, because I'm a glutton for punishment. Exhausting. She doesn't look at me. Client crisis. You wouldn't understand. Probably not, I agree. I just fix things. Nothing complicated like managing social media campaigns. She shoots me a look, finally. Don't start, Alex. Start what? That passive-aggressive thing you do. I almost laugh. Passive-aggressive. That's rich coming from someone who's been lying for months, but I don't say it. Not yet. Instead, I go to the garage and work on a blender until midnight, taking it apart and putting it back together, because at least machines make sense. The next morning, I'm at the gym by 6. It's called Hannigan's, a squat brick building that smells like sweat and rust and honest work. This is my refuge, the place where I'm not invisible. Jules is already there, working the heavy bag. He's 50-something, ex-cop, built like a fire hydrant. He took me under his wing 3 years ago when I wandered in looking for something to hit that wouldn't hit back. You look like hell, he says by way of greeting. Feel worse. Woman trouble? Is there any other kind? He grunts, holds the bag for me. I work out my rage in 3-minute rounds until my knuckles ache inside the gloves and my lungs burn. It helps. Not enough, but some. Want to talk about it? Jules asks when I'm done. She's cheating. He doesn't look surprised. You sure? Saw the messages. What are you going to do? That's the question, isn't it? I could confront her, have the big dramatic scene, get it over with. File for divorce, split everything, move into some sad apartment where the neighbors are louder and the walls are thinner. Or, I'm thinking about it, I tell Jules. He studies me with those cop eyes that see too much. Don't do anything stupid. Define stupid. Anything that gets you arrested. I smile, but it doesn't reach my eyes. I'll keep that in mind. That evening, I do something I've never done before. I plan a special dinner. Real effort, the kind I used to make when we were dating. Her favorite pasta, the wine she likes, candles because apparently romance isn't gone, just on life support. Claire arrives at 8, surprised to find me waiting. She looks uncomfortable, which should have been my first clue. What's this? She asks. Dinner. Remember those? We used to have them together. She sits, but she's checking her phone. 3 times during the appetizer. I count. Claire, I say finally, put the phone down. I'm waiting for an important message. From work? Yes, from work. Defensive now. Not all of us can clock out at 5, Alex. I clocked out at 9 last night, but sure. She sets down her fork. What is your problem lately? My problem? I lean back, studying her. I don't have a problem. I'm just noticing some things. Like what? Like how you're never here. Like how you smell different. Like how you look at me like I'm furniture you're planning to replace. Her face goes through several expressions before settling on cold. Marriage doesn't mean you're my top priority, Alex. I have other important things. There it is. The truth, served colder than the pasta. You're right, I say quietly. Priorities are personal. Something in my tone makes her look at me, really look, maybe for the first time in months. But whatever she sees doesn't concern her enough to pursue it. She finishes eating in silence, helps with dishes because she's not a monster, and disappears into her home office for the rest of the night. I sit in the living room, in the dark, and make a decision. If I'm not her priority, then she's not mine. Simple as that. I'm done chasing, done trying, done being invisible in my own house. I'll live my life, she can live hers, and we'll see what happens. Around midnight, I hear her on the phone. The door is cracked, and her voice carries. I'll slip out after he's asleep, she whispers. He won't even notice. I'm wide awake, Claire. Wide awake. The next week I stop trying. It's remarkable how much energy I've been wasting on someone who doesn't care. I stop asking about her day. Stop planning dinners. Stop waiting up. I go to the gym every morning, work my jobs, come home and work on my own projects. The house, my truck, a vintage radio I'm restoring. Claire notices. Of course she does. People always notice when you stop dancing to their tune. You've been distant, she says Thursday night, catching me in the kitchen. Have I? Yes, you barely talk to me anymore. I pour coffee, take my time answering. You said I wasn't your priority. I'm just following your lead. That's not what I meant. What did you mean? She struggles with that, her mouth opening and closing. Finally, I meant that I need space to grow, to be my own person. Great. Grow. Be your own person. I'll be over here, being mine. You're being childish. I'm being honest. There's a difference. She doesn't like that. She's used to me being accommodating, flexible, understanding. The Alex who bends. But something broke that night at dinner, and I don't bend anymore. Friday, Mrs. Henderson catches me getting the mail. She's 70, lives for gossip, and has the subtlety of a car alarm. Saw Claire's car at that Mason fellow's place again Tuesday, she says, all fake concern. Late night at work, I suppose. Must be, I say pleasantly. Such a dedicated worker, your wife. That's one word for it. Her eyes light up. You know, My Harold used to work late too. Turned out he was working on his secretary. But I'm sure it's different with Claire. I'm sure, I agree, and escape before she can dig deeper. But the seed is planted. Mason. I know who he is. Sales manager at some tech startup, drives a Mercedes, has that aggressive confidence that insecure men mistake for charisma. I've met him twice at Claire's work functions. He called me buddy and asked what I did for real when I said I repaired appliances. I decide to learn more about Mason. It's easier than it should be. Social media makes stalking convenient. Mason loves posting his life, the car, the riverside villa he rents, the gym he goes to, his favorite bar. He's even tagged Claire in a few photos from team events that I was never invited to. In one, his hand is on her lower back. In another, they're laughing at some private joke. In a third, from 2 weeks ago, they're at a restaurant I recognize. The same night she said she was working late on a proposal. I sit in my truck outside that restaurant, looking at the photo, and something cold and calculating takes over. Jules was right to warn me, but he was also wrong. I'm not going to do anything stupid. I'm going to do something smart. Saturday morning, I follow Claire. She says she's going shopping with Paula, her best friend from work. But she doesn't go to the mall. She goes to Mason's villa, parks behind the building where her car won't be visible from the street, and doesn't come out for 3 hours. I take photos, timestamps, document everything. Then I wait for Mason to leave, which he does around 4, looking smug in his Mercedes. When he's gone, I get to work. First, I key his car, not deeply, just enough to be annoying. Then I find the air intake for the HVAC system and stuff raw shrimp deep into the vents. In this heat, that'll be fun in about 2 days. Finally, I leave a note under his wiper. Bad things happen to homewreckers. Next time, it's the brakes. I don't touch the brakes, that would be stupid. But Mason doesn't know that. I'm home before Claire, working on the vintage radio when she arrives. She's glowing, freshly showered, and doesn't look at me as she heads upstairs. Good shopping? I call after her. What? Oh, yes, great sales. Glad you found what you were looking for. If she hears the double meaning, she doesn't show it. 2 days later, Claire comes home furious, slams the door, throws her bag, paces the living room like a caged animal. Someone vandalized Mason's car, she announces. Mason from your work? Yes. Someone keyed it and put something unpleasant in the vents, and left a threatening note. That's terrible, I say, not looking up from the blender I'm fixing. Did he call the police? They said there's nothing they can do. No cameras, no witnesses. Shame. And someone sent anonymous messages to his boss about his after-hours activities. He might lose his job. Sounds like Mason made some enemies. She stares at me. You don't seem very concerned. I look up, meet her eyes. Should I be? I don't really know Mason. He's your colleague. He's my friend. Right. Friend. The word hangs between us, heavy with implication. She opens her mouth, closes it, and storms upstairs. I hear her on the phone, voice low and urgent, probably warning her friend about her suspicious husband. Too late, Claire. Way too late. I start going out. Not to bars or clubs, but to places I've neglected. I reconnect with my brother Danny, who lives across town and has been asking me to visit for months. I start taking evening classes at the community college, learning welding. I join a bowling league with some guys from the gym. I'm building a life that doesn't include Claire, and she hates it. Where are you going? She demands Tuesday night when I'm heading out. Bowling. Since when do you bowl? Since I decided to have hobbies. You said you needed space to grow. So do I. This is ridiculous, Alex. What's ridiculous is you being upset that I'm not sitting home waiting for you to remember I exist. She doesn't have an answer for that. At the gym, Jules notices the change. You seem better, he says. I am better. I'm done being a doormat. What's your end game here? I'm working on it. He doesn't push, but I can see him thinking. Jules is smart. He knows I'm planning something. He just doesn't know what. The answer comes to me Thursday night. Claire is at another team event. I'm at home scrolling through her company's website when I notice something interesting. Morrison and Associates has a strict ethics policy. Relationships between employees must be disclosed to HR. Failure to disclose can result in termination. I wonder if Claire disclosed her relationship with Mason. I'm betting she didn't. Friday, I call Morrison and Associates from a burner phone, ask to speak to HR. When I get a human, I'm concerned and anonymous. I work here, I lie, and I'm uncomfortable reporting this directly. But there's a situation. Claire Brennan and Mason Thorne are in a relationship, and neither has disclosed it. They work together on client accounts. I thought someone should know. The HR rep thanks me for the information and promises to look into it. I hang up and wait. It takes 3 days. 3 days of Claire going to work, coming home later and later, barely speaking to me. I use the time productively. I move money from our joint account into a personal account she doesn't know about. Not all of it, just enough to make a point. I cancel the credit card I gave her for household expenses. I change the password on our streaming services. Petty? Sure. Satisfying? Absolutely. Monday evening, Claire comes home early. Her face is blotchy, her eyes red. She's been crying. "They're investigating me," she says, voice shaking. "Someone reported my relationship with Mason to HR. They're investigating both of us." "That's serious," I say, "because I'm a bastard. They could fire us, Alex. Do you understand? They could fire us both. Maybe you should have disclosed the relationship." She freezes. "What?" "The ethics policy. You're supposed to disclose relationships, did you?" "How do you know about that?" "I can read, Claire. It's on the website. You reported us. Not a question, an accusation." "Did I?" "You vindictive son of a—" "Careful," I interrupt. "You're the one who cheated. I'm just a concerned citizen who thinks companies should follow their own policies." She stares at me like she's seeing me for the first time. "Who are you?" "I'm the guy you forgot was here. Surprise. I've been paying attention." She tries to argue, to justify, to turn it around on me. But I'm done listening. I walk out, go to the gym, and hit the heavy bag until my arms are rubber and my mind is clear. Jules watches from across the room. When I'm done, he walks over. "You started something," he says. "I did. You ready for where it goes?" "I am." "Then let me give you some advice from someone who's seen a lot of revenge go wrong. Make sure you can live with the consequences, because once you cross certain lines, you can't uncross them." "I'm counting on it," I tell him. That night, I sleep better than I have in months. The investigation moves fast. By Wednesday, Mason is suspended pending review. Claire is still working, but she's under scrutiny. Every expense report, every client meeting, every decision is being examined. She's unraveling. I watch it happen. The confident woman who told me I wasn't her priority is now panicking, making mistakes, snapping at everyone. "This is your fault," she hisses Thursday morning. "You did this because you're jealous." "Jealous of what? A guy who drives a car he can't afford and sleeps with married women?" "Mason loves me." I laugh. Actually laugh. "Mason loves that you're available and convenient. Trust me, Claire, you're not special to him." "You don't know him. I know his type, and I know you're about to find out what he's really like when things get difficult." I'm right. By Friday, Mason is throwing Claire under the bus. I know because Paula tells me. Paula, Claire's best friend, the one who's been at our house dozens of times, who stood up at our wedding, who I thought was loyal to my wife. She calls me Friday afternoon. "Alex, it's Paula. Can we talk?" "About what?" "About Claire and Mason and me." We meet at a coffee shop downtown. Paula looks nervous, guilty, and determined all at once. "I need to tell you something," she starts. Something you should know. I'm listening. Mason and I have been seeing each other for about 2 months. I blink. You and Mason. Yes. I didn't know about Claire at first, I swear. But then I found out and I kept seeing him anyway. Why are you telling me this? Because Claire is my friend, and I feel terrible. And because you deserve to know the whole truth. Mason is playing both of us. He's probably playing other women too. He's a narcissist who gets off on manipulation. I sit back, processing. This is better than I could have hoped for. Does Claire know about you? Not yet, but she will. I'm going to tell her. Why? Paula's eyes fill with tears. Because she needs to know who she destroyed her marriage for, and because I'm tired of being part of his games. I record the conversation on my phone, legally gray, but I don't care. This is ammunition. Thank you for telling me, I say. I'm sorry, Alex. For all of it. You didn't deserve this. No, I agree. I didn't. That night, I sit in my truck outside Mason's villa. He's home, lights on, probably congratulating himself on surviving the work crisis. He doesn't know what's coming. I wait until midnight, then I get to work. His car alarm is easy to rig. I'm good with electronics. I set it to go off every hour on the hour. Then I visit his mailbox. The rotten fish are wrapped in newspaper, but they'll make their presence known soon enough. Finally, I print flyers. Simple, direct. Ask Mason Thorne about his habit of sleeping with married women. Ask him about Claire Brennan. Ask him about Paula Reeves. I post them on every telephone pole within 3 blocks of his house. By morning, his neighbors are talking. By afternoon, someone has posted photos of the flyers on the neighborhood Facebook group. By evening, Mason's landlord has called him about complaints. I know all this because Paula tells me. She's become an unexpected ally, feeding me information, helping me understand the full scope of Mason's manipulations. He's losing it, she reports Sunday. He thinks Claire reported him to HR. He's threatening to tell her husband everything. Her husband already knows everything, I say. What are you going to do? I'm going to make sure everyone else knows too. Monday morning, I go to Morrison & Associates. I've never been to Claire's office during work hours. The receptionist looks surprised when I ask for Claire Brennan. I'm her husband, I explain. It's important. She calls up, and 5 minutes later, Claire appears. She looks exhausted, furious, and humiliated all at once. What are you doing here? She hisses. I came to see where you work, where you've been spending all your time, where you met your boyfriend. Lower your voice. Why? Afraid people will hear? Too late, Claire. Everyone already knows. Her face goes white. What did you do? Me? Nothing. I just made sure the truth came out. You and Mason made the choices. I just helped illuminate them. You're destroying my career. You destroyed our marriage. I'd say we're even, but actually we're not even close. I turn to leave, then pause. Oh, and Claire? You should ask Mason about Paula. I think you'll find it enlightening. I walk out, leaving her standing in the lobby, and I feel absolutely nothing. The explosion happens that night. I'm at home, working on the kitchen backsplash I've been neglecting, when my phone rings. It's Danny, my brother. Dude, you need to come over, he says. Now. Why? Because your wife is here, with her friends, and they're talking about coming to your house to confront you. I think you need backup. I drive to Danny's apartment in record time. Sure enough, Claire's BMW is in the parking lot, along with 2 other cars I recognize. Her inner circle, Paula, Jen from work, and Sarah, another friend. I walk in without knocking. Danny's apartment is small and the living room is crowded. Claire is in the center, holding court, and she stops mid-sentence when she sees me. Alex, she says, and there's something dangerous in her voice. Claire, ladies. I nod to the others. Paula won't meet my eyes. I heard you wanted to talk to me. You've been sabotaging my life, Claire says, systematically destroying everything I've built. I've been exposing your lies. There's a difference. You reported me to HR. You vandalized Mason's property. You spread rumors. I reported an ethics violation, I interrupt. I didn't vandalize anything, prove it. And I didn't spread rumors. I spread facts. You were sleeping with Mason. Mason was also sleeping with Paula. Those are facts, Claire. Paula flinches. Sarah and Jen look at her, shocked. You what? Jen demands. It's not what you think, Paula starts, but Claire cuts her off. You slept with Mason? Her voice is ice. I didn't know about you at first, but you knew later, and you kept seeing him. You were married, Paula shoots back. You were cheating on Alex. Don't act like you're the victim here. The room erupts. Accusations flying, voices rising, years of friendship disintegrating in real time. I stand there and watch it burn, and I feel nothing but satisfaction. You did this, Claire says, turning on me. You turned us against each other. No, Claire, you did this, all of you. You made choices, you lied, you cheated, you betrayed people who trusted you. I just made sure everyone knew the truth. You're vindictive and cruel. I'm honest. That's what you can't stand. You want to live in your fantasy where you're the hero of your own story, where you deserve everything you want and consequences don't exist. But they do exist, Claire, and you're living them now. Sarah steps forward. She's been quiet until now, watching everything unfold. Alex is right, she says quietly. We've been enabling you, Claire, making excuses, pretending your behavior is okay because we didn't want to lose you as a friend. But this is too much. Sarah, no, I'm done. You cheated on your husband. You risked your career for an affair. You lied to all of us. And now you want us to be angry at Alex for exposing it? No, you did this to yourself. Jen nods slowly. She's right. I'm sorry, Claire, but she's right. Claire looks around the room, seeing her support system crumble. She turns back to me, and for a moment, I see something like fear in her eyes. What do you want? She asks. You've destroyed my career, my reputation, my friendships. What else do you want? I want a divorce, I say simply. I want you out of my house. I want my life back. Fine, you can have it. I don't want to be married to someone who would do this anyway. Perfect. We agree on something. She grabs her purse, storms toward the door, then stops. You know what? You're going to regret this. When you're alone in that half-finished house working your hopeless job, you're going to regret losing me. I smile. Claire, I lost you months ago. I just didn't realize it was an upgrade. She leaves, slamming the door hard enough to rattle the windows. Her friends follow, one by one, until it's just me and Danny in the apartment. That was intense, Danny says. That was necessary. What now? Now? Now I finish what I started. The final piece falls into place 2 weeks later. The HR investigation concludes. Mason is fired for ethics violations and inappropriate conduct. Claire receives a formal reprimand and is demoted. She keeps her job, but barely. Mason, predictably, loses his mind. He starts calling Claire, showing up at her new apartment, demanding she take responsibility for ruining his career. He's unraveling, and it's beautiful to watch from a distance. But he makes a mistake. He comes to my house. It's a Saturday morning. I'm in the garage, working on a toaster, when I hear a car in the driveway. I look up to see Mason's Mercedes, dented and dirty from weeks of neglect. He gets out, and he looks terrible. Unshaven, rumpled clothes, wild eyes. This is not the smug sales manager I met at Claire's work parties. You, he says, pointing at me. You did this. Did what? Destroyed my life, my career, my reputation. You couldn't handle that Claire wanted something better, so you destroyed everything. I set down the toaster, wipe my hands, and walk out to meet him. Mason, I didn't destroy anything. You did that yourself when you decided to sleep with a married woman. Multiple married women, actually. She wanted me. She chose me. She chose excitement. You were just convenient. And now you're not even that. You're unemployed, broke, and desperate. How's that working out for you? He takes a step forward, fists clenched. You think you're so smart, so clever, but you're just a small man with a small life who couldn't keep his wife happy. Maybe, but I'm not the one who lost everything. You are. He swings at me. It's clumsy, telegraphed, easy to dodge. I spent 3 years learning to box at Hannigan's. Mason spent 3 years learning to sell software. I don't hit him back. I don't have to. I just step aside and let his momentum carry him into the garage wall. He stumbles, catches himself, tries again. This time I grab his arm, twist it behind his back, and pin him against my truck. Listen carefully, I say quietly. You're going to get in your car and drive away. You're going to leave me alone. You're going to leave Claire alone. You're going to disappear from our lives completely. Because if you don't, I will make the last few weeks look like a vacation. Do you understand? You can't threaten me. I twist his arm a little harder. That wasn't a threat. That was a promise. Now get out of here before I call the police and show them the security footage of you trespassing and assaulting me. I let him go. He scrambles to his car, nearly trips over his own feet, and drives away with tires squealing. I watch him go, then look up at the camera I installed last week. Got the whole thing on video. Jules was right. Always have evidence. That afternoon, I get a call from a number I don't recognize. Mr. Brennan? This is Detective Sarah Chen from Millbrook PD. I need to speak with you about an incident involving Mason Thorne. My heart rate spikes, but I keep my voice calm. What kind of incident? He filed a report claiming you assaulted him. I'd like to get your side of the story. Of course. When would you like to meet? We arrange to meet at the police station. I bring my laptop and the security footage. Detective Chen is professional, thorough, and clearly skeptical of Mason's story. When I show her the video, Mason arriving uninvited, Mason swinging first, me defending myself and escorting him off my property, her expression doesn't change, but I can see the case evaporating. Thank you for your cooperation, she says. I don't think we'll need anything else. Is Mason in trouble? That depends on whether you want to press charges for trespassing and assault. I think about it. The temptation is there. But Mason is already broken. Pressing charges would just be cruel at this point. No, I say. I just want him to leave me alone. I'll make sure he understands that. And Mr. Brennan, off the record, good for you. Not many people handle this kind of situation with as much restraint as you did. I leave the station feeling lighter than I have in months. The divorce proceeds quickly. Claire doesn't fight it. She moves out, takes her clothes and her personal items, leaves everything else. The house is mine. The truck is mine. The half-finished projects are mine. My life is mine. 3 months later, I'm in the garage when Danny stops by with beer and pizza. How are you doing? He asks. Good. Really good, actually. House looks better. You finished the kitchen? Last week. Started on the bathroom yesterday. And the business? Growing. Hired an assistant. Thinking about expanding into HVAC repair. Danny grins. Look at you. Thriving. I am. Turns out when you're not spending all your energy on someone who doesn't appreciate it, you have a lot left over for yourself. Any word from Claire? Her lawyer sends paperwork sometimes. But no, we don't talk. I heard she's dating someone new. Another guy from work. Some people never learn. And Mason? Left town, I think. Paula said he moved back in with his parents in Ohio. Career destroyed, reputation ruined, ego shattered. You feel bad about that? I consider the question honestly. No. He made choices. He hurt people. He deserved consequences. What about Claire? You feel bad about her? Sometimes. Late at night when the house is quiet, I remember the good times. The early days when she laughed at my jokes and held my hand and made me feel like I mattered. But then I remember how she looked at me toward the end, like I was invisible, like I was nothing, and I don't feel bad anymore. Danny raises his beer. To new beginnings. To being visible, I counter. We drink, and it tastes like freedom. 6 months after the divorce is finalized, I'm at Hannigan's when Jules pulls me aside. Got something to tell you, he says. What's up? Remember when all this started? When you found out about Claire? Hard to forget. I told you not to do anything stupid, to make sure you could live with the consequences. I remember. Can you? Live with them? I look around the gym. At the heavy bag I've been working for 3 years. At the ring where I learned to fight back. At the people who became my real friends while my marriage was falling apart. Yeah, I say. I can live with them just fine. Good. Because you did something most people can't do. You took control. You didn't just react. You planned. You executed. You won. That takes strength. Or stubbornness. Sometimes they're the same thing. That night, I drive home to my house. My finished kitchen. My completed bathroom. My restored vintage radio playing jazz in the living room. I pour a drink, sit on the porch, and watch the sun set over Millbrook. Mrs. Henderson waves from next door. I wave back. She probably still gossips about me, about the divorce, about Claire. But I don't care anymore. Let her talk. The truth is already out there. My phone buzzes, a text from a number I don't recognize. Alex? It's Sarah from the bowling league. Some of us are getting together tomorrow night. Want to join? Sarah. Blonde, funny, works as a veterinary tech. We've been talking more lately. Nothing serious, just friendly, but there's potential there. Maybe. I text back. Sure. What time? Her response is immediate. 7. Looking forward to it. I smile, put the phone away, and finish my drink. Claire was right about one thing. Marriage doesn't mean someone is your top priority, but it should mean they're a priority. It should mean they see you, value you, respect you. She didn't do any of those things, so I made sure she saw me, made sure everyone saw me, made sure I was visible in the most devastating way possible. They wanted to make me invisible. Now they can't look away. I finish my drink and go inside. Tomorrow is Sunday. I'll work on the house, maybe start planning that HVAC expansion. Then bowling with Sarah and her friends. Then another week of building the life I want, the life I deserve, the life where I'm not invisible anymore,